What's going on? You tuned in to your big bro. 5 signs you are a genius and smarter than most people. All right. This is a very exclusive video because I'm assuming that if you click this video, you probably think that you are a genius. But the problem is we live in a society nowadays where people just won't tell you that you're a genius because a lot of people got ego problems. A lot of people are prideful and they just don't want to give you the credit. OK, so if you think that you might be a genius, all right, stay tuned throughout this whole entire video. I'm about to confirm to you whether or not you are a genius and if you are smarter than most people. Now, me personally, I've come across some really intelligent people. All right. And I mean, when I say intelligent, I mean super intelligent. Now, one thing you got to understand about being a genius, it's totally different from going to college and getting an education and saying, you know what, I got a bachelor's, or, you know, getting a certificate in this field and saying I do this. And it's totally different from that. Being genius is a totally different type of smart. All right. And for those of you who know what I mean, you know what I mean. OK, you run across somebody and you'll have a conversation with them and they will blow your mind. They'll let you know things that the average person won't even let you know. And the way they carry themselves, the way they talk, it's all genius and it's undeniable. OK, so and I've also read a lot of books, too, where, you know, I read a lot of books that make me say, man, it's all right. The book is all right. The author's pretty cool. But I've also read some books like by Neville Goddard or, you know, Joseph Murphy or Gary Zukov. And I'm just like, these guys are geniuses because, it's just a different type of smart. OK, so I'm about to describe to you whether or not you're a genius or not in this video. Make sure you subscribe after this video if any one of these signs, these 5 signs resonate with you. All right. Now, the first sign that shows that you have some type of genius in you, some type of intelligence that comes from beyond this world, is if you grew up and you knew how to draw. Like when you were young, you know how to draw and you can do art very good. All right. Being an artist is the first phase of like being a genius. OK, a lot of artists that make music, that draw and do, you know, pottery, sculptures, people that do interior designs, you know, people that design homes on computers and architecture, even people that do street graffiti. You see how fancy it looks and you probably roll by it and seeing it on the wall like, yo, how do they do that? What is going on in their mind that make them know how to do something like that? All right. If you are an artist in music, okay, you do music really good. It comes to you naturally. Maybe you can produce beats. You know how to do rhythms really good and, you know, can't make people, you know, just produce and stuff like that. That's all genius. That's all genius. Everybody can't do that. You know, if you are an artist and you can naturally do some type of art, you can just paint abstracts and impressionisms and fauvisms and portraits and stuff like that at Disneyland, and somebody's just sitting there. You just do it like in 10 minutes. That's genius. That's genius. All right. That is something that an average person cannot do. OK, that just goes to show how advanced your mind really works. Right. You are a visionary. If you are an artist, you are a visionary, meaning you can see things in your imagination, in your mind, that other people don't have the privilege to see. OK, so that's the first sign that you are a genius and smarter than most people, is if you are some type of artist in some form of fashion. You know, you do some type of artistry. OK, the next sign that you are a genius is if you feel as though you don't blend in with the average people. OK, when you go in social settings and stuff like that, you can feel the energy that you are different from everybody. And I don't know, maybe it's been like this all your whole entire life. You felt like, I don't even know if they like me or not, man. Do I blend in with y'all? You know, you just feel kind of off. You just feel out of place when you go into groups of crowds of people and things like that. The reason why you feel that way is because you know who you are. All right. Deep down inside, somewhere, you know who you are. You know, and once again, like I said, the society that we live in makes you feel like if you're not a part of this or if you're not following the trends, then you're not cool. But that's not true. The truth is, if you're different from everybody else, You know, if you have your own way of dress, if you have your own lingo, if you have your own hairstyles and things like that, and you just move to the beat of your own rhythm, then that is somewhat being genius, because you're not conforming to society. All right, geniuses don't conform to society. Albert Einstein was considered very weird. He was different. You know, I mean, the way he wore his hair, the way he smoked cigars while doing math on chalkboard and stuff like that, it just made him just different from everybody else. You know what I mean? And so that is what a genius is. A genius won't be found in the places where most people are. A genius is in the basement doing science experiments. You know, a genius is in the library, you know, after school while everybody's going home, still reading books. All right. This is how you know that you're smarter than most people, because you can just literally feel as though you don't belong. But the truth is, you already belong. It's just that you're not like everybody else because your mind thinks on a totally different wavelength from everybody else. Okay, so if that's you, then chances are you're smarter than most people. All right. The third sign that you are a genius and that you're smarter than most people is if you can just innately just get answers from the infinite intelligence. Meaning, like, if you know problems to things that you don't even have to do research on, right? This is a level of genius that is indescribable. You can't describe it. It's something that just happens. All right. You just know the study of life, which is biology. Okay. You might have some type of knowledge in psychiatry and you never went to school for psychiatry. You might know a lot about psychology and how people behave, but you don't have a degree in psychology. You know, esoteric knowledge, you know, hidden knowledge that most people are afraid to read about and things like that. You know a little bit about how the mind works, neuroscience. Have you always been like that? Have you always been attracted to the sciences? Have you always been like somebody that's like attracted to how the mind works? Have you always been the type of person that go out and you like to people watch? Like, for some strange reason, you like to eat a burger and fries and just people watch. And nobody knows what you're doing, but you're literally sitting there just studying everybody's move. You can overhear conversation, and it's like you know everything that's going on with the people around you. That's not normal. That's not normal. The reason why you're taking in all this knowledge when you people watch and why you're so into people's behavior is because you have a genius mindset. That's how you get your information. That's why you're smarter than most people, because you know how to understand people. Most people do not know how to understand people. Most people are afraid of what they cannot understand, and they will shun and bash and criticize people for something that they cannot understand about a person whom they do not know personally. All right. If you are not like that and you're more like, I want to understand how they think, chances are you are a genius, and that's a sign that you are smarter than most people. Okay. Now the next sign is a little bit different. The fourth sign that you are a genius and smarter than most people is if you have always been interested in space. Space is your thing. You know, you're interested in how the sun and how the planets revolve around the sun, and you're interested in watching NASA shuttles shoot off. You know, you're always looking at videos on YouTube about space and stars. You know, you're into astronomy, astrology, and things like that. If you're into that type of stuff, if you're into space, chances are you're smarter than most people. I can tell you now, the average person who you walk up to, they really can't tell you nothing about space. People in your family, if you sit down and talk with somebody that you pick randomly in your family, I can almost 90% guarantee you they won't really know nothing about space except for the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars. That's it. They won't be able to tell you anything else. Why? Because they can't comprehend it. All right? They can't comprehend something they cannot see. You understand what I'm saying? So I know people that's into space and astrology, stuff like that, astronomy, like Stephen Hawking, the guy who sits in a wheelchair and he knows about life and human civilization and evolution and stuff like that. He's a genius. He doesn't think like regular people. But guess what? People will call him weird because he's handicapped, because he talks through a computer, and they'll say all kinds of things about how did he know what he's talking about. He's disabled. He's a genius. He's sent here for a reason, to help people understand about the world and space. Okay? Neil deGrasse. Neil deGrasse is another guy who I think is genius. I mean, the man practically knows everything, that every question he gets asked about anything beyond this world, the man can come up with an answer off top of his head. I think that's pretty genius. Elon Musk, even though a lot of people don't like him, but hey, it's normal. You're not supposed to be like when you're abnormal, when you're different, when you're taking cars to outer space and you're riding in outer space. You're not supposed to be considered a likable person, because once again, people fear what they do not understand. When you're talking about going to different planets and stuff like that, and you come back and tell people, I think I know a way to go to another planet, they're going to think you crazy because they're not genius. You understand? A genius is a person that's interested in space, all right? Astronomical things. You know what I mean? That's a genius. Astronauts are geniuses. They know all about doctors. They like doctors. At one time, they do everything. You know what I mean? They know how to eat the right food. They know about the human body. They know about the sun, the moon, the stars. They know about everything. Chemistry. They mathematicians, NASA, space shuttles, astronauts. They are geniuses all in one little bubble. All right? So if you got that fourth sign, then chances are that you are a genius and you just smarter than most people. All right? Last but not least, the last sign that you are a genius is if all your life, and even up until this point now, people come to you for answers to their problems. Yep. Did you get your friends always calling you? They always venting and saying, hey, I did this today. I went through that today. And you get a lot of phone calls. You know, some people just want to talk to you. Maybe people always want to be in your presence. What are you doing today? You want to hang out with me, this and that. Da-da. Like, the reason why people do this to you, they like overly do it, is because they can sense your energy. They know that you know things that they do not know. So a lot of people come to you for information because, I don't know, maybe they looking at you from behind the scenes and they see all the things that you're interested in. And they're like, I want to do that too someday. How do you do that? And you're infatuating to them. You know, you are fast, even though they won't tell you that you are fascinating them. They won't tell you, but don't it seems weird? Because once upon a time, people probably used to call you weird, or maybe they call you a nerd or a brainiac. And it's crazy because the same people that probably looked at you from that perception are the same people who are calling you, asking you questions about how to do this, how to get through that, how to make this happen, how to make that work. That's because they see you as a genius and they know that you're very smart. All right. They know that you are a smart person. So they'll come to you for help. They'll come to you for emotional guidance, your spiritual guidance. They'll come to you for all these things because they know that you are smarter than most people. All right. So I don't know who this video resonated with, but if it resonated with you, make sure you don't leave this video without letting us know that you are the genius that was mentioned in this video, and comment and let me know which signs resonate with you. All right. If you didn't get any of these signs, that don't mean you a genius. You might need to run this video back over because I probably said something that you didn't really peep. You didn't hear it, okay? So it's your big brother Trend. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. These are the 5 signs you are a genius and smarter than most people. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.